burn down the countryside while you're like waiting for them to give you a mission and they don't actually care or something.
That's another thing about this game. That's fine. The lore is fine.
The lore is hilarious.
I've only
because it's so inept.
I've only absorbed it through you telling me random things. And
what Orion just said is the lore. You've like sold your soul to something called the Council of the Void, which I believe the little lore snippet deliberately says may or may not be good.
Yeah, I think there's
even though they're obviously evil.
I think,
but you sold your soul to gain a bunch of awesome powers.
Yeah, and
then with the expansion, with the Volcaire scenario, he's just like a competing mage knight.
And no. He's like an old general that was banished and then comes back with like this giant army out of nowhere, and nobody knows if he's good or bad. And you decide to fight him for whatever reason.
If it weren't for his flame sword, I'd say that he was probably not a bad guy. But looking at that flame
if we're talking about like the aesthetics and pure thematic parts of this game, the dragon cool. Guy doing the Heisman pose with a book
Heisman preacher
instead of a football is hilarious.
It is hilarious. It doesn't really fit
He's doing the Heisman
any
pose.
of the other art, but...
Yeah.
It's good. It's funny.
For those who really go on the art, the minis are pre-painted. They're painted okay, but they are pre-painted.
Fine, I'd say.
They're pretty cool.
They're pretty cool.
They're a bit more than
Who's
fine.
this orc with the crystal
Krang.
mace?
That's Krang. He's his own expansion, little mini expansion.
Oh, he's an expansion?
Yeah, just the character.
I like that mini.
Yeah, he's a really fascinating.
I want to be a
character.
mace wielding orc in my next D&D campaign.
Oh, one more thing that is mentioned in the review that we haven't mentioned here. You should just read the review. Anyway, the Lost Legion expansion is almost like it's like a must buy if you enjoy the game. You know, probably get the base game first, but it adds so many things that really improve the experience, from making the characters more distinct from each other, to giving you another character who's really cool, to giving the scenario that we talked about, which is the best cooperative scenario in the game, all kinds of new map tiles and cards and spells and character and units to hire. It's one of those expansions that gives you a little bit of everything that was already in the base game, plus a couple other things. So it's a very, very good expansion.
It's very good for sure. We haven't played the other one, and I think you talked about this, that initially it was rated really badly because of some printing issues.
Yes.
And I believe those have been resolved in more recent printings.
According to a person on the Board Game Geek forums, they bought a recent copy and it did not have any issues. I think if you do buy a copy with some of the printing errors, just contact WizKids and they'll send out replacements, but obviously that's a pain.
Yeah.
That one we haven't played. It gives another character and a couple other things, I think.
I think there's someone riding a bear on the cover. So
yes, I think he's a druid, which would be really cool.
Yeah.
And I think it adds like faction loyalties to enemies, so there's like a whole little separate thing with like gaining
more fiddly bits.
More fiddly bits of like gaining faction loyalty and stuff. So I don't know, it could be interesting. We'll have to buy that.
That dragon token that's a centimeter across that had 15 different symbols I had to figure out definitely needs more symbols.
Yeah, if you don't like lots of symbology and rules, don't buy Mage Knight. But otherwise, it's the second best game I've ever played. Do you have any more criticisms, Matt?
Do you have any more things that are fine?
Wait, where's my phone? Oh, there it is. Yeah, let me just scroll through this little thing. I took a few notes.
How would you rate your notes?
It's not all that elegant.
So they'd be fine?
They're fine?
They're kind of disorganized, but they're on Keep, so I could organize them on the computer, so that's fine. Yeah,
more people
co-op.
Pass out.
It's co-op, but I got screwed over by Mark.
That's your fault.
It's fine. Yeah, I was disappointed. I had cool things with my deck, and it didn't work out. Combat just isn't that interesting.
That's the key.
Yeah, I like talking with you guys.
Plus, I got to get a little bit into my debate mind.
Yeah, it's fine.
towards the beginning there when I was just going.
Contradictions of design. What did I say that for? Sometimes you write notes, and then you probably had a great thought.
This is why I don't write notes.
Okay.
If the thought's not going to stick with you, then it wasn't worth having, right?
That's like the... Oh,
that's a terrible philosophy.
Who was that guy
I
was working with? And he was like, I don't put error checking in my code. Because if there's an error, it should show up to the user and you should fix it. You shouldn't have errors in your code.
What?
I was reading this one guy's article where he's like, yeah, I don't ever error check anymore because I just write my code without errors.
Right.
Is that the article you were talking about?
No. This was someone I was working with.
Oh, okay. There was some article on our developer forums or whatever where the guy was like, here's how you never use the debugger. Just write better code. All right. And all the things he mentioned were like these basic like programming 101 things, and we're like, okay, we all know that, and we all still make mistakes, so I don't know what you're smoking.
That line of argumentation is like the most gratingly annoying thing in the world. No, it's the same thing that like people... It's the same kind of person who tells like a depressed person to just smile more. Like it's the same argument. It's like, just be happy. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
Gets my goat.
Put error checking in your code, children. Please.
Wise words from Matt.
Yeah, which this goes into the other thing that you're going to say later.
Or right now if you don't have anything else. I'm done. I have espoused every single...
Yeah, I went through my list. I had pretty much said it all. I think I summed it up with it's middling. It's fine. I thought we agreed it was at least
it's fine. More than fine, if not spectacular. It's at least above
song?
Average.
More than fine.
It's a Switchfoot song.
The Switchfoot song.
Yeah.
It's Nothing Is
It's
Sound.
not a good Switchfoot song either.
Is that on Nothing Is Sound? No. It's on... I forget.
More than fine.
If it doesn't make you depressed, it's not a good Switchfoot song.
That's true.
That's not true.
That's really... Man, what are the good, happy Switchfoot songs? Oh, Gravity, maybe?
This is another fundamental difference in us. Yeah, no. I mean, Nothing Is Sound is definitely their best album. But If the House Burns Down Tonight... Well, it's about your house burning down. I had a dream that my house burned down yesterday.
Well, I will say their most overrated songs are happy. Like Stars.
That's fine. Again,
Stars is the most overrated Switchfoot song.
Stars isn't a bad song though. I don't know.
It's a horribly mediocre song. Like it's so mediocre that it becomes bad.
I'm tainted. Our first conversation about this, your argument was basically everybody loves this song. It sucks.
Wait, which song?
Stars.
Oh, really? Did I say that?
Yeah, basically.
Those are my salad days.
Which is a bad argumentation. I get what you're saying, though. It's not the best song.
We've gone completely off track here. This is the kind of thing where I'm really excited. I don't know if I've told you guys, my future vision for when I do a Patreon.
Yeah.
Is to, at some tier level, just allow people to listen in and then just give them like the raw podcast recordings. And then it'll be really fun to go on tangents like this because we know special, money donating people will hear our random thoughts on things. And how much, and also they'll appreciate how much editing I do to make the podcast not sound really bad.
You're going to edit this out?
I might put this all at the end. I don't know. Like post music. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm really tired though.
Yeah.
It is getting late.
Good.
Hey, it's 1 o'clock.
Yeah. We could have finished this at 10:30 if your computer hadn't decided to update.
Not my computer. Blame Ben.
Get a better computer yourself.
Ben.
I should. All right, let's wrap this up.
I've been trying to think of a way to fit in hockey for like the last 10 minutes and I haven't come up with one.
It's not going to happen.
We can just, we signed Dublin today.
Boom, there.
So it was 4.1 million annual average That's a little higher than I expected. But we have a defense, which is an important thing to have.
He has a city named after him.
Unlike Kyrie Irving, he's choosing
Dumoulin?
to join a good team or to stay
I
with
just
a good
imagine that the name was spelled the same as Dublin.
It's not, but
Okay.
but it could be.
team. It's never mind.
Oh man.
Yager. Why haven't the Penguins or any other team hired Yager? Signed
Isn't he
Yager?
like 50 years old?
Yes. Yes. If he plays this season in like a reasonable number of games this season, he will set the record for games played.
More than how?
Yes.
Is this how the
I
current
forget
record
who's the
holder?
leader. It might be.
'Cause he played for like 30 years. Right?
Also, if he plays and scores like just a few points, he will he'll break the age-old Gretzky thing of if Gretzky didn't score any goals, he's still the all-time points leader.
So he would become.
But-
so basically, Yager needs a couple more points to have more assists
Yeah,
in points.
yeah, than Gretzky.
to more points than Gretzky assists.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
yeah, it is crazy. But
All right. Now I got a segue.
we never really talked about Vlada.
I'm going to talk about Vlada right now.
Let's talk about Vlada.
Sorry, that was really snarky.
That's another thing about this game that is more than fine. Vlada. Vlada's allowed to have a game or two that isn't perfect.
I did
Because
see...
he does so many great things.
He does.
He
I
tries
did-
so many things.
I did hear him in an interview where they were asked about Mage Knight, and he said he would probably never make a game this complicated again, which kind of made me sad. It did make me sad. I want him to be making a... He's released code games. Now he's going to release this other party game that looks stupidly simple. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand how it's going to be fun. So I'm hoping these are just like placeholders for his next awesome big game.
Yeah. I think he excels at the middleweight. I mean,
I think he excels at
At
nearly
everything.
everything he
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Yeah.
but I think the kind... Yeah.
But don't like Dungeon Lords and Dungeon Pets are some of our least favorite games of
my
his.
least favorite. I hate those two.
I
mean,
the ones we like,
I don't hate Mage Knight.
all of his
Mage Knight's
We
fine.
like his heaviest games and his lightest games,
and the ones in between.
but we like the ones in between less.
Space Alert's a,
Space Alert's
a
in
middle
between.
of the way.
Yeah. Space Alert and Galaxy,
Galaxy
Trucker.
Trucker.
I would put Galaxy Trucker on the lighter end of his
Yeah,
spectrum.
it's mid-light. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
What else have we played?
Bunny
Bunny Boost Boost. All right. Okay, let's actually wrap this up.